we also endanger ourselves as well because we're relying on other countries for our food.
Theresa May signed into law the net zero agenda. So everything we do has to be contributing to reducing net zero.
Quadrilla will close the last 2 fracking sites next week.
That's shocking. Fracking could have been our future.
It's fracking shocking.
Yeah, could have been our future.
Yeah, it could. You do know that we only produce 50% of our food in this country, don't you?
It's not as high as that from the...
Is it 49 now?
From what I've read, I think it's like a third.
Oh no, I think it's 50%.
I've read a third. But hey, let's go with half.
Despite that, we are going to consume 10% of English farmland for net zero. And that's sticking on solar panels, wind farms, all that crap as well. So 10% of our arable farmland is going to be lost to net zero.
Yeah, because what the government's saying is if we can turn that into green energy, that mitigates some of our carbon. The fact that land now is not producing food means we can save the diesel costs of delivering it, the farming costs, so all these things are adding to net zero that we're not producing. So we'll just buy it somewhere else, which then will create the pollution, the carbon dioxide somewhere else. More of it because they won't be as environmentally friendly as us, and then we'll ship it here. So
big tankers.
The overall carbon dioxide, which isn't a problem, but they think it is, but we increase more by exporting our food production and our manufacturing. It's all a big con.
And also, we also endanger ourselves as well because we're relying on other countries for our food.
Oh, if there's a war, if anything like that, then we've seen what's happened with our energy supply.
Yeah.
Why we're paying through the nose at the moment is because energy is so expensive because we don't produce enough of our own. Same with food. Hitler nearly starved us out of the war in the early 40s because we didn't produce enough food, and we're just waiting for someone else to try the same tactic.
It's called food security, isn't it? And we don't have food. We don't have food security at the moment.
Yeah.
And we're making it worse.
Yeah, and we don't have steel security. So we can't even build the armaments we wanted anymore now because we import all our steel.
Jesus. Judge Lord Eric has banned production at the Jackdaw gas site and the Rosebank oil site in the North Sea this week. That's 2 of the major, I think it's Shell or everyone. So we've been stopped again from harvesting our gas and oil.
Well, that's because what people don't understand, they think the judge has done this because he wants to. The judge has done this because Theresa May signed into law the net zero agenda. So everything we do has to be contributing to reducing net zero, and it's in law. So
Theresa May's caused the right problem for us.
She's a bitch. So this is all wrote into law.
She did the tranny stuff as well.
Yeah, and the stop and search stuff and everything. So if we're going to stop doing that, the law has to be changed. We have to take net zero out of the law. Judges can only do what's written in the law.
Quadrilla will close the last 2 fracking sites next week.
That's shocking. Fracking could have been our future.
It's fracking shocking.
Yeah, could have been our future.
Yeah, it could.
Could have been our future.
It will be.
At some point, yes, it will. Yeah.
And I think what's more interesting, which is kind of I said, as you said, net zero is finishing. I think it is going to start finishing, and I think we've already got this conflict over Heathrow Airport, haven't we?
Yeah.
But the Norwegian government coalition has ended, so the Norwegian government has fallen apart.
Has it, right?
And the reason it's fallen apart is because they don't want to send their energy to us. So what's happening is when we're low on energy, the Norwegians have to send energy they need to us. And it ends up costing them more money because they have to get their energy from somewhere else as well. So the reason they've fallen apart is the coalition is because they've disagreed fundamentally on this, and the people want to stop it. But if they're not sending us their energy, and we have another difficult time like when the winds died down a few weeks ago, we're in trouble.
If I was Norwegian, I would be fuming.
Yes,
we're sending our energy to another country, and we need it here.
Yeah.
Norway should not be, even though we're British and I want the energy, they should not be doing that. They need to put their own people first.
Correct.
And not be subsidising poor policies in other countries, meaning our country.
But what's happening, Nick, is our stupidity is being supported by other stupidity in other countries.
It is.
That's what's happening.
Let's all be stupid together.
And it's a roundabout, isn't it? So if you think about it, there's this roundabout going on with stupid countries supporting stupid countries.
Yeah.
And suddenly there's a great big wedge being driven into it
Yeah.
by Trump.
Yeah.
And he's stopping it, isn't
Yeah.
he? So that's why I think this will have a far bigger impact than we realise. That's why all these countries are now doing this, because it's breaking down, isn't it? This mutual stupidity support system that we've got going is breaking down.
It is, but you also can't compete on the world stage if the largest power in the world, the Americans, suddenly have dirt cheap energy. And that's what they may be getting if he starts drilling and fracking and everything like that. So we're going to have to follow suit, otherwise we will not be competitive.